talk the excitement. And now we're going to talk comics with Zsa Zsa Zine. So over to you, Faye in the past.
Thank you, future Faye. We're about to go into the Fort von Sjakoo and meet up with the people at Zsa Zsa Zine, which are a group of comic book artists that meet down in the basement. Let's go! Can you remember your very first comic book you made?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had this character. It was Victor the Rat. He was kind of like sunglasses and smoking a lot. And he had a gang. And so I would draw it in my little like book, you know. And it was like, I think at that time I was also kind of quiet kid, so those things were actually my toys. So being able to draw was actually a good thing for me because it was my way of playing also. How about you?
Oh, much earlier. Well, when I was 4, I was able to draw quite realistically, and it was the only thing I could do. I had no other talents. And I think I started a regular character when I was 6 or so. And I do remember when I drew for the first times, I would draw naked people, but I don't know how I ever was able to draw naked people, because I don't remember seeing so many naked people when I was 5 or something.
But how do you draw them? Like, do you think they were anatomy? You know, was it like properly like with the?
Yeah, it was proper.
Yeah.
And I remember my mother threw them away.
Oh yeah.
The drawings. I would be super interested to see what they looked like.
Yeah, that'd be quite cool actually.
Yeah.
I think my drawing style kind of changed also because I used to draw like monsters and things like what kids would draw, right? And I think I would read also like Dragon Ball at that time because it was available in the shops downstairs in my house, you know. So I'll buy Dragon Ball and I'll copy, you know, like kids do, right? Copy. And then my aunt was a missionary, so all these things were evil. So I couldn't draw them anymore. You know, this thing, so I guess you start drawing other things. But it's good, I guess I stopped copying also. Draw your own things now.
Yeah. So. It's interesting that it was taboo for you to draw Dragon Ball.
Yeah, because it's demonic.
Right.
Of all things, yeah.
Right.
The vision, yeah. Vision
The
far away.
one.
I guess the vision of it started was to actually find a group that would be interested in collecting and archiving or also making stuff that would be both feminist and queer at the same time, you know. And because I think when we came together we realized like, hey, you know, okay, you know, we kind of identify along those lines, but where are the people making this stuff, you know? And so there's a group of us actually drawing, you know, but we didn't really know each other so well before. And then we also started putting our own collection of the comic books we have, the zines we had that could also fit in this genre of sorts. And so we put it together. And I think what was also more of the vision would be to get people to start making stuff also. That's the whole point, to encourage people. Yeah, come here, work on stuff, get to meet other people also. Because I think sometimes organizing things is also a way of finding your allies, you know. Hi, we're here! Where are you? You know, a bit like this. So yeah.
The thing with comics, of course, is that you can create everything that you want. So, and I think also with zine making and comic making, you get to kind of pick or choose or develop your own style. And with style comes storytelling and I don't know, if you draw, you do something that's so close to your body and maybe also close to your personal story. But I don't want to sound Freudian now or
No.
psychological about it. But I'm always super happy when I see zines with visuals in it, so you get to really see people's style more or something. I'm more drawn to visuals.
Yeah. It's very instant as well.
It's super clear immediately.
Yeah.
So it's quite visible if something is dark or serious or maybe funny or completely surrealistic.
When I really started reading comic books, because I actually started with like British comics, that was also available, like Beano and all this stuff, you know. So it was kind of that kind of slapstick kind of stuff. And then later on, when you know, I got to know like more superhero stuff, and then moved on to more graphic novels. And when I moved on to graphic novels, I found a lot of autobiography stuff, you know. And actually what I found really interesting, because there's a lot of people who do this are actually writers. You know, they are really writers. But then they also have this drawing thing. If they work, they happen to be work. And what I find, what is so great about this about the comic or the graphic novel is, it's amazing. It's a combination of text and pictures. And how more can it, how better can it get, you know? Which is basically to combine, and it's moving, I would say. Somehow it works, you know, to tell your story, to remember the pictures, and to keep on writing. I think that's why it is something that is, and some people find it actually a bit too much. Have you heard people say that?
Too much?
Because there's there's images and then there's text. It's too much for them to comprehend or something like that. And then for me, when I heard that, I was like, this is the whole point. Because there's a bit too much information also, in a way.
It's also literature.
Yeah.
That could be too much for people.
Yeah. It's in a sense. It's just that when I heard that, because I didn't really know why I was attracted to comic books. So when somebody had this kind of weird aversion towards it, you know, of this too much information, because some people are not so good at reading and putting pictures together, you know. I mean, this is a different way of
Other
perceiving.
people
You know?
are not so visually oriented
or something. But then I was just like, of course, but this works for me.
Could you tell us about Butch Weston?
Yeah,
It's
Butch
a great
Weston.
title.
Yeah. Okay, Butch Weston started because Erica is the writer of the thing, and I draw the stuff. So she went to San Francisco, and she was living there in the 90s, in the dikey 90s over there. And then she went back, I think like 15 years, almost 20 years later, and she was horrified by the demise of butchers. There were no more butchers, maybe except her friend, and everybody calls her the Buffalo. So with that, we kind of had this idea, and she was like, oh my god, I think that's the last butcher in town, right?
Oh my god.
So we decided to like, okay, and she got into this whole thing of writing. So I say, yeah, go write it, you know, see what you come up with. And then we came up with this kind of story that she wrote, and about, you know, this lone butch traveling from town to town looking for the other butchers that might be around, you know, just to know like, okay, there's still some of us left. Yeah. But of course there's hot sex all the time. Right? Butch on butch sex.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that genre so much also, and I think this is also something that I feel like, you know, like, the lack of this kind of, you know, kind of weird dikey comics also, you know. I'm also from Singapore, and there's a lot of publication and films that are censored all the time, you know. So when I first came here, my first few years was really like feeding myself with any kind of information that it was so free, you know. I was just like reading about this and that, and I think I got that. And now I'm kind of like more calm now.
Oh, really?
You know, I'm just like, okay, I think I reached the point.
Yeah. But when you first came to Amsterdam, it was like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that I saw, well, I wouldn't say like freedom. I was also very lonely and, you know, dealing with the practical stuff, right? But, you know, it's also like why the comics I do, I always make sure there's some sex in it, because I like the fact that I can do that and I won't get in trouble. So I want to like just keep you like, you know, something there. And also because it's just an amazing way to find out, you know, how being free sexually can also help to be creative as well at the same time, actually, you know, how they both inform each other. So I think that is why like the things I do always have certain themes, because those are the themes that inform my creativity as well. So yeah.
You guys just had your 1 year anniversary.
Woohoo! Yes. Yeah.
And what have you guys been up to the past year? What projects have you guys been up to? I know that's a big question, very big, broad question.
I mean, actually, it's not that big. I mean, it's only 1 year. But
We did the
sketch battle,
sketch battle and the zines.
the mini zine
Mini
stuff.
zines. We made a few mini
Zines.
zines. We baked a lot of cakes.
Yeah.
And
You guys make good cupcakes.
Yeah, now we gotta get the cupcake people back again.
Yeah, that's what people tell. That's what people say.
Yeah.
Come to Zsa Zsa Zine every Saturday. Of course, we have the zine library. With
Yeah.
new zines coming in.
We
all the
try our
time.
best, and then I guess I mean we did like some lino cut, some crafty things, and we did so some kids can come as well, which is nice actually. And this is why I enjoy sometimes that there's some kids here. Yeah, I guess mostly printing, and then we had this like one activity where we made the mini zines where we passed it around.
Oh,
And then we make a little thing,
Like a
and-
Dadaist.
Yeah, but more Dada thing. And then,
practice.
yeah, mostly this. But I think in a general sense, what we have achieved is at least on Saturday, there is a kind of a daycare center here.
For queers.
For queers, adults, and
feminists.
kids, So I think it's a nice thing to achieve, I would say.
Also, this is a place where you can actually talk to each other, which is difficult at certain parties. When you have a queer party or lady fests and the music is really loud, you can't really hear each other. So here at least you can
Yeah,
understand what people
That's
are
nice.
saying.
And the focus is on drawing, which
Yeah,
is also
and
really
drawing,
nice.
yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know, I found out this year that it's really endearing to see people read. It's so beautiful to see people sitting and reading.
Yeah.
There's a kind of beauty.
No, it's really nice, and I think, of course, we organize like acoustic music, since in collective, woo, and but I think the other projects that will help to also I'm thinking of having more spoken word stuff, or having readings, more readings, because I also feel like so far I've attended little readings by people, and it kind of pushes you to actually want to read more, or want to make more, or just want to find out more, And so this will be something I would like to do actually. Bring something that you like, or read, or find something that you
Or come to Zsa Zsa Zine if you have
to read,
stuff to read or
Yeah.
have to draw.
to read aloud. If you feel like you can't really read quietly here, then you might have to make some noise, right? So
Spoken word.
yeah.
So it's every Saturday from what time?
From 1 to 5.
From 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Fort van Sjakoo.
Yeah, from Sjakoo downstairs,
The basement.
the basement.
The comic basement.
Yeah,
The daycare center.
daycare center.